Hi, I'm Julia and you're watching Code Kitchen. Today we'll be continuing our Tasty Taxes app. If you haven't been following along, I'd highly recommend you start from part 1. Now that we have a foundation set up in terms of buttons and text views, we can add programming logic to them in the Java file. In order to use them in the Java files, we have to name them in the XML files, which is what we're about to do here. You name a view by using this ID line. Its name will be what comes after the slash. Go ahead and name all your views whatever you'd like. Some views, such as buttons, have the ability to call a function from the XML file using the onClick method. With this, you can say onClick and then make up a function name. I'm going to name mine didTheThing. And you'll notice there's a slight yellow tint to this text when you finish typing. If you hit Alt-Enter on your keyboard, you should see this drop-down menu. Click Create and it'll make the method stub for you in the Java file. If for some reason your Alt-Enter doesn't work, just copy this method into your Java file. By the way, if your Alt-Enter didn't bring you to this file, we're in the main activity file up here. Double-click on that to get into this page. You'll want the function name to be public void your method name, and within the parentheses, you want the capitalized view and the lowercase view. Remember how I said all those things we were using in the XML were called views? Well, this capitalized view is telling us that this lowercase view is in fact a view. And this particular view is the view that was clicked, which was the button. Another cool little thing that I like to do is show toasts. It's those things that pop up at the bottom of the screen with a blurb of text. In order to make a toast, you want to write this line. Make sure you pay attention to capital and lowercase letters. We're invoking the toast class with the first word, capital Toast, using one of its functions called makeText, which takes parameters within the parentheses. The first parameter within the parentheses is what's called the context. Don't worry about that for now, just put in the word this. The next parameter is a string that you want to show. Mine is going to say, didTheThing. The last parameter is how long you want to show the toast for. There's only two options, short or long, but you have to invoke the class again with this capitalized toast. I always forget this next part, but you have to also tell it to show itself or it'll never show and you'll think it's broken. Run the app now and make sure that clicking the button shows a toast. Tip: it's best to constantly run and test your code as you write it so it's easier to find a mistake. Now, since we didn't use onClick for the other views, we'll have to find the views by their IDs. Up here, we're going to want to declare all the views we're going to find. You want to make it private so only this file can access them, and then tell the program what class the view is, and then pick a name that you want to name it. If your class is red, like mine is, Alt-Enter will generally fix it by importing the class. If you open up this plus icon on the imports way up here, you can see text view has been imported. Go ahead and do that for all our views. If your Alt-Enter key didn't work, you can import it yourself by just typing it in. Quick lesson about comments: there are two types of comments we can use. Previously, you were shown how to do what's called inline comments, where the comment is on the same line. These comments generally go above the function and are called block comments. They can be auto-populated if you type the /** and then hit enter. I'm just going to add some descriptions here so it's easier to follow along. You would usually enter more descriptive comments the more complex your method is. Now go within the onCreate function, right before the last curly brace. We already declared all our views up at the top, so now we want to find them or initialize them. Initialize your view by using the findViewById method. You want the parameter within the parentheses to be r.id. whatever you named it. Don't be alarmed that this line is red and has an error. Clicking Alt-Enter will show you some fixes you could try. In this case, we want to pick the option to cast it to a text view. Casting it is basically saying, everyone knows this is a view, but I swear this is a text view. Now, if this isn't actually a text view, say you tried casting an edit text to a text view, it'll look fine in the code, but when you run it, it'll yell at you. Now for those whose Alt-Enter doesn't work, just add the class name in parentheses before the findViewById function. In summary, having a class in parentheses before a function, variable, view, object, whatever, is called casting it. Go ahead and find the views by their IDs for the rest of the views. Now our basic setup is done. Let's make a plan of what we want to do next. The comments I've written here will be covered in the next video. Know anyone who would find this useful? Share this video with them so they can sharpen their skills and cook up some apps.